everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the get to know you tag. So I have 35 questions here to help you get to know me a little bit better. What's the highlight of your week? It hasn't happened yet, but I'm really excited to go out with my roommate tomorrow night. We are going to get takeout and hang out at a little beach and watch the sunset. So I'm super excited to do that. We moved in together about a month ago and we still haven't hung out one-on-one, so I'm excited to hang out with her. What are your passions and how have you been feeling them lately? I don't know if YouTube is really a passion yet, but I've been working on putting myself out there and trying new things. So I think that in itself is a passion, is trying new things. Who has been inspiring you in your work recently? As far as YouTube stuff goes, definitely my boyfriend and YouTubers that I watch. My boyfriend has watched a lot of YouTube, like all of the videos on YouTube. So he has a lot of really good ideas on how I can start building my channel. We're also going to be starting a channel for him, so that's super exciting too. What new things have you been enjoying lately? Learning to edit videos. I'm not super good at it or anything, but I didn't think I would have as much fun editing as I do, so that's pretty cool. What is one thing you've always wanted to do? Travel. I've always wanted to see the world and get to experience different lifestyles, different cultures. I haven't done a whole lot of that yet, but I'm really excited for the future and for quarantine to be over so that I can actually plan some trips. What have you been loving at work or in general? I've been really loving my new apartment. I moved in about a month ago and I've loved making it my own space and making it feel like home. If you had to leave this city or country for good, where would you go? If I had to leave this city, I would go down to Texas. I'm still not really sure what area of Texas, either Dallas-Fort Worth area, Austin, or San Antonio. Basically any of the big cities in Texas. If I had to leave the country for good, I'm thinking Switzerland, Iceland, possibly Japan, or Ireland. Those are my top 4 choices. I've never been to any of them, but they seem pretty cool. What is challenging you at work? So I'm a mechanical engineer and I started full-time this summer. It's challenging. Everything is completely remote right now for me, so getting help from people is a lot harder. Everyone is always in meetings because you can't just talk to people in person, so it's really hard to get on someone's schedule to be able to get help and talk to them. What's your favorite movie you watched recently? I fell asleep during it, but I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the newest one, and I don't know what it's called, but I liked it, and it's the only movie I can remember watching recently. Oh, actually, I was watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I thought that was a pretty good movie. It had Marshall in it from How I Met Your Mother, so that's why we watched it, and I thought it was pretty decent. Other than that, I can't remember any movies I've watched recently. What's the best piece of advice you've ever heard? That's really hard. I don't know what the exact words she used was, but she is a woman at work who mentored me for a little while, and she basically said it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks about you, just go for it and you do you. What is one piece of advice that has stuck with you? The same thing, trying to not care about what anyone else thinks and just doing it anyways and putting myself first, in moderation. What is your favorite book and why? I'm not a big reader. I'm currently reading, or I'm actually listening to Wild. I think that's a pretty good book. It's not my favorite. I also recently listened to Magnolia Story about Chip and Joanna Gaines. I really liked that one. I have watched Fixer Upper for a few years now, and it was just really nice getting to know Chip and Joanna on like a deeper level. Does the Bible count? I really like reading the Bible, and that's the only thing I read consistently. I have Bible study every week, so that's my favorite book. What movie or show has affected you in a positive way? I really loved Frozen 2. It really made me think about me and my sisters, and the whole idea of not leaving each other's side and always supporting each other, and that sisters are like more important than anything in the world. I really loved that, and it reminded me of my appreciation that I have, that I'm not an only child and that I do have them in my life. What are you looking forward to this week or weekend? One of my best friends is moving into a new apartment and I'm helping her move, so I'm super excited to do that and see where she's living. What's the most interesting thing you've learned lately? How to edit a YouTube video and add music. I think that's pretty cool. What's the next thing you're crossing off on your bucket list? Oh, I am planning a group trip to go to Burlington, Vermont in October, so that will be super exciting. I haven't ever been to Burlington, Vermont, and I'm just excited to see what's there, and hopefully getting to see some really pretty fall foliage. Where would you live when you retire and why? Right now I'm thinking San Antonio, Texas. I have been there this past June and I just thought it was a beautiful little town. It's actually a pretty big city, but I thought it was beautiful with the river walk, and I just really liked the vibe that I got there. When was the last time you got out of your comfort zone and how did it go? This is very much out of my comfort zone. YouTube and making videos and talking to a camera. It's too soon to tell how it's going, but I'm having some fun with it, so it's not bad. What is the best dessert you've ever had? This is really hard. There's a lot of really good desserts I've had, especially recently. My boyfriend's family makes delicious blueberry pie, and I'm really not a pie person, but I love that blueberry pie, especially with some homemade whipped cream. Super good. I also recently got to try a family friend's key lime pie, and it was delicious. I had key lime pies from the grocery store before, but this doesn't even kind of compare. It is so good. I've also recently tried coconut cream pie, which I didn't think I would like, but I loved that too. And I don't even like pies, but all three of my favorite desserts right now happen to be pie. The most recent thing I learned, how to edit a YouTube video still. Sorry, it's the same answer. What is your favorite show and why? Is Gilmore Girls. I really like how uplifting and happy it is. It's just so lighthearted, and it's a show I can always go to no matter what, and it will always make me happy. Some people really hate the show and some people love it. I feel like there's not really much in between. If you could be one of the superheroes, who would you be? I don't watch superhero movies. Oh, except I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender right now, so I don't think that counts as a superhero, but I'm gonna count it. I would be Aang. I would think that would be super cool to be an avatar, to learn how to master all 4 elements. What is the most daring thing you've done? Daring. What is daring? I like trying spicy foods. I feel like that's not that daring. I really like roller coasters. I also don't think that's that daring. I'm trying a YouTube channel. That's also not that daring. I don't really do dangerous things. Oh, I bought a car with a manual transmission that I didn't know how to drive. That was pretty daring. It's going pretty well though. I have learned to drive it, so everything turned out fine. Where is your favorite restaurant to go on a date? What is your favorite dish to order? Right now, I think the favorite is a restaurant called Mayway. It's just a local Chinese food place, and it's kind of different every time we go. What we don't get the same thing every time, but wonton soup and egg drop soup are always good options. Also sushi and crab rangoons. My boyfriend loves crab rangoons. It would not be a Mayway trip without them. What is one dish you can't live without? Rice. I love rice. I feel like that's very boring though. Or bread, also pretty boring. Steak. I don't think I could go vegetarian. I love steak, especially steak tips. When was the last time you laughed really hard? How did it happen? I can't remember, but I have a feeling that it was with my sister. Whenever I'm with my sister, we always have a really good time, and we never laugh about things that are necessarily actually funny. There was one time that we were just having a whole conversation in SpongeBob quotes for like a half an hour, and that was really fun. But that was a while ago. I'm sure there's something more recent. Do you have anything exciting planned for the rest of the year? No, not really. Quarantine has been kind of a downer. Other than my Burlington, Vermont trip, I get to take a week off during Christmas from work, so that's exciting, I guess. Is there something you would redo that happened this year? Depends on what you define redo as. Like, do over and do it differently? No, but something that I would do again to be able to do it again? I got to go to Colorado. I went to Denver this year on a mission trip. I would totally do that again. And I would love to go on my Texas trip again and spend a longer time there. But I wouldn't want to change much about it other than the amount of time I spent there. What important life lessons would you share with your kids or someone close to you? Know your self-worth. Know that you deserve happiness and success, and don't let people take that away from you. If you could switch places with someone for a day, who would it be and what would you do? I would switch places with my boyfriend. I think it would be a really nice thing to be able to see what he does in a day. I think it's hard sometimes to have an appreciation for your significant other or someone close to you because you don't really know what they do in a day and how hard they work. So I would really like to do that, to be able to better appreciate my boyfriend and everything that he does, especially for me, because he does a lot for me. How many countries have you been to and which one was your favorite? I've only been to 2 countries, the United States and Canada. I went to Niagara Falls in Canada, and I also went to Montreal. I prefer the US. Montreal was fun and nice, but I definitely need to see other places in Canada before I could say that I prefer Canada over the US. What has been your proudest moment? I think my proudest moment is when I got my current job offer. I felt very proud because of how hard I've worked in my past with school and internships that I got my #1 job choice. What memory would you like to relive again? I don't know about one specific memory, but I think I would want to go back to my childhood. There were a lot of times that I took for granted hanging out with my little sister and my youngest sister. Actually, when she was born and she was a little tiny baby, my sister and I would put her in like a little doll high chair and we would play house. We had a kitchen set. So I think I'd want to relive that and just really appreciate and take in those moments. What was the nicest thing someone did for you? This is hard because the nicest thing, I guess, that someone has done for me is my parents giving me everything I needed to be successful, helping me get through life and helping me with my necessities so that I could focus on school and my future. But beyond that, I think one of the nicest things anyone has done for me is I was having a really bad day and my boyfriend drove about an hour to come see me and give me chocolate and flowers, and that was really nice. And it was like at 10 o'clock at night, and yeah, that was super sweet of him. What has been your favorite compliment you received? I think my favorite compliment is from my parents, that they're proud of me. My dad says I'm very hospitable. I like that a lot because I do try to make people feel welcome in my home. It's something I need to work on, to make people feel welcome even not at my home, but compliments from my parents I think are my favorite. So there are 35 questions to help get to know me better. Comment down below if you have any more that you'd like me to answer or any other video ideas. I hope you all have a good day and see you next time. Bye.